Dave Scott at West Bloomfield High School with head coach of the Lakers, Ron Bellamy. Coach, everyone is saying this is going to be a big year.
Yeah, we're super excited. The expectations are high. We've had a great offseason in the weight room, working on our physical conditioning, and our kids we're an old team now. You know, a ton of seniors, great leadership, and we're excited for what's to come.
Just as an example of that and the recognition you're getting, just today as we're recording this interview, MLive comes out with the top 25 high school players in Metro Detroit, 3 Lakers on that list.
Yeah, you know, we're excited about our Lakers. They're great football players, but more importantly, they're great people. The kids do a phenomenal job of preparing themselves each and every day to put themselves in this position academically and athletically. And, Makari Page, Cornell Will, and Donovan Edwards are 3 of the top players, not only in the state of Michigan, but the Midwest and the United States of America.
Last year, great season. You went to the regional finals, if I recall. It was a tough loss in Belleville, but one of a number of games where you were that close. You had a lot of tight games last year. Most of them you won, a couple got away.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a credit to the season, the schedule that we schedule, the teams we play. Tough teams that we feel like prepare you for deep playoff runs. We didn't win. We lost 3 games last year by a combined 8 points, and we took that motivation in the offseason, and as coaches, you got to build upon failures and turn those failures into successes. And, we've created more situational practices and just preparing ourselves for unforeseen circumstances that may arise during a football game. So we'll be ready for that when that time comes this year.
This team has a lot of experience. You got a lot of seniors in your team and juniors who went through a very competitive couple of years, regional final, run to the state finals. You got that in the bank? Is that going to help?
Absolutely. There's no substitute for experience. Experience over anything. And we have a ton of experience coming back, led by our senior quarterback, C.J. Harris, who, he's an Ohio commit. Unbelievable leader, unbelievable talent. He's a kid that, he's an extension of our coaching staff. We give him the keys. He's the face of our football program. You have defensively, you have Cornell Wheeler in the middle of our defense, Bo Davis and Sterling Miles anchoring the defensive line. And you got Makari Page back there in the secondary, who's going to do big things back there. So we feel like we're very experienced. A lot of kids had opportunities to play with the rash of injuries we had last year. Our motto is next man up.
You look at the legendary high school programs here in southeastern Michigan, Farmington, Country Day, legendary coaches, even Clarkston. You've not been here as long as some of those coaches, but I think people will say now that this program is every bit of those programs. I mean, you built in a very short period of time an amazing program here.
We have unbelievable support here, starting with our superintendent, Dr. Hill, and carrying down to our principal, Pat Watts, and our athletic director, Eric Pierce. Our teachers are phenomenal. We have great community support. For me, anything that you have success with, I believe it takes a village. And we have that. We have a ton of support, and that's something that we don't just play for each other. We play for everyone who shows us love, and we play for our community. And I think our kids really take a joy to that.
Well, one of the things you talk about the community, all of those programs I mentioned, they have massive community support. It's new in West Bloomfield to have a program this successful, and we're going to do everything we can, and I expect the community, with or without our broadcasts, they're going to come out in big numbers. We're not just going to see mom and dad. We're going to see the whole community this year.
Absolutely. We're super excited about it. We have some great kids. We feel like we have something great to show people. Friday night, you're looking for something to do. We want to entertain you. The L Boys come in town, whether we play home or we playing away. We want the city to support us and travel with us, and we're going to put on a good show.
All right. Does it impact a positive football program? Does it impact the building we're sitting in right now?
100%. And I think that's why we get a ton of support is, before the school year starts in the state of Michigan, you've played a football game, and that carries over. The kids, they have something positive to look forward to. The school spirits at an all-time high. The football players, who are some of the more popular kids in the school building. They walking around, they're pride for their program. And, the one thing we tell our kids is just don't be friends with football players. Make sure you get out there, whether you're a 9th or 12th grader, make sure you're shaking hands with someone or sitting next to someone or hanging out with someone that may not look like you, act like you. We want you to be diverse. We want you to, West Bloomfield High School has a ton to offer, and that's part of the school, the excitement of the school and the camaraderie we have within our school building.
What a great example you're setting for your players, and it was so impressive interviewing them last year and how sharp they are.
They're awesome. They're awesome kids. I credit that to their parents. Kudos to their parents for doing a phenomenal job. And, as coaches, we feel like we're an extension of their families. And I want to do right unto the families and, most importantly, the kids. And, we're trying to develop young men. That's what we are. They're coming in as 13, 14-year-old boys, and when they leave here, 17, 18-year-old young men. And, you hope that they transition over to college and they continue to have success and high character when they move on with their lives.
All right, one more piece of football before we have to say so long. So we open up the season Friday night against Oak Park, part of a huge doubleheader. It's going to be a tournament feel the first night we're out here. You're playing Oak Park, clearly maybe the best team along with West Bloomfield in southeastern Michigan, another team that can be in that group. Clarkston playing Southfield. I mean, wow, what a night of football.
It's 4 top 10 teams playing in the state of Michigan, playing on our football field. We're super excited to host such an extravagant event. Our athletic director, Eric Pierce, did a phenomenal job putting this together, and it's going to be a show. It's going to be packed. The Swamp's going to be a packed house, and it's going to be a memorable experience, not for just the fans, but the players as well.
It's interesting, though. You have maybe your toughest game of the season on your first night of the season.
Yeah, by design. We understand if you have a successful football program, you have to play other successful teams. And we're ready for it. It'll be a great game. Coach Carter, head coach over at Oak Park, does a phenomenal job with this program. Those guys will be ready. Our guys will be ready. And it's going to be a lot of college prospects on the football field August 30th.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of other people from other communities coming to see what we've got going on here.
Yeah, it's one of these things that I think you're going to see a lot of teams trying to create this atmosphere that we're going to create August 30th.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Don't miss it. It's going to be huge. Friday night, we've got Clarkston and Southfield at 3 o'clock, and then West Bloomfield and Oak Park, and that contest happens at 7 o'clock. And we'll have it all for you right here on Civic Center TV, and, of course, live this game and every game all season long on 89.3 WBLD. For The Splash, I'm Dave Scott.